How's it going, everybody? Kasabi here with another Rocket League and Monstercat ranking video. Volume 3 has been out on Rocket League soundtrack for the last couple months, and it's gotten to the point now where I feel I can make an accurate description of how the songs rank 1 through 6 compared to the original Rocket League soundtrack. For those of you who have seen my Volume 1 and Volume 2 ranking videos, I won't ramble too much, but basically, the original tone was kind of set by the original soundtrack made by Hollywood Principal and Mike Ault. What I am ranking these songs on is how well they fit the mesh of that original tone set way back a couple years ago when Rocket League first came out. These rankings are not based on my personal opinions or beliefs, just want to get that clear. Again, this is purely based on the tone of the original soundtrack. For those of you who haven't seen the Volume 1 and Volume 2 ranking videos, I have those in the description of this video. But without any further ado, let's get to the rankings 6 through 1 for Rocket League and Monstercat Volume 3. At number 6, I have Hours by Soup Andreas and Inverness. As I tend to mention in most of my ranking videos, a lot of these songs are fantastic. I enjoy all of them. I do believe that most of them fit the tone of the Rocket League soundtrack. And my number 6 one, which is the lowest on the list, sadly, still does fit that tone. This does not mean that it's a bad song by any means. My personal feel on it is that it's a little bit too much of a pop tone for Rocket League. Most of the Rocket League songs on the soundtrack are instrumental versions. You typically have a few songs that have very strong pop vocals, typically by a female lead, and that kind of amplifies the effectiveness of the song. With this song here, I believe that the lyrics and the message that the song is bringing across kind of detracts from the instrumental that most Rocket League players are accustomed to. Because of this fact, I believe the song Hours just kind of stands alone and doesn't really fit into the mesh of the rest of the soundtrack. Still a fantastic song, but compared to the other songs that are already on the Rocket League soundtrack, it just doesn't quite fit in as well. At number 5, I have Keep You featuring Sundial by Dumu. There's another strong female vocal lead in this song, something that we've become accustomed to with Rocket League. I think the reason that I have this at number 5 is just the flow of the song isn't necessarily constant. There's a lot of quiet parts that kind of go back into the instrumental after the chorus has ended. And with Rocket League, you kind of need that constant flow of things. You need some action in the background going on. With Rocket League, there aren't too many dull moments. There's always a constant flow of action. And while this is a great song, a very sensual and kind of soft-spoken song, the rest of the soundtrack just kind of has that constant instrumental, that constant beat that's just going on in the background, whether you're playing a game or not. I buy every Rocket League song that I can on iTunes, and it's a little bit different in-game than on iTunes, obviously, but there's a 30-second lull at the end of this song where when I'm listening to a Rocket League playlist on my own and not actually playing the game, it kind of makes me feel like the playlist is over or has ended, and it's just like a 30-second pause break that I can barely hear anything. And I started noticing different pockets during the song too while I'm playing Rocket League where it gets kind of quiet and my interest kind of lulls a little bit. So honestly, the reason that this one is at number 5 and not a little bit higher is just because the song itself just has those, like I said, pockets of sound that just kind of fade out a little bit and you start to kind of forget that the song's going. At number 4, I have Shiawase Say by Dion Timmer. For those of you who don't know, Shiawase Say is happy in Japanese. The song is very happy, it's very bouncy, it's very enjoyable. The beat is a little bit more prevalent than in the other songs. It's kind of like at the forefront of the song. My favorite part is the breakdown about halfway through the song. You're just about to get to the second chorus, so to speak, and then it starts doing a little breakdown session. The song isn't the highlight of Volume 3, but it's definitely a good one, and it mixes well with the rest of the soundtrack. At number 3, I have Silhouette featuring Skyel by Bad Computer. This song is the premier female vocal song that is very strong that we are accustomed to seeing with Rocket League in other iterations of the soundtrack. This song can be a little bit quiet towards the end, like I mentioned with Keep You earlier in the video, but across the board, a very strong song, the same kind of song that most people can find enjoyment out of that also like Flying Forever, or anything with Hollywood Principal, really. This song is a very solid addition to the Rocket League and Monstercat soundtrack. and a very solid number 3 at that. At number 2, I have Glide by Stephen Walking, which most people are familiar with as the song that starts when you load Rocket League with the most current update. This song is the perfect summer song. It really fits the tone of the whole summer beach update that Rocket League was going for. I liken it to a sexy version of being on the beach along with a mix of a like 80s or 90s like sitcom TV show. I don't know if I'm the only one that gets that feeling, but you know. In any case, the saxophone in this song is amazing. I get little goosebumps on my arms when I hear the plucks of the bass guitar. Just everything really meshes together really well in this song, even though there can be times where there's a bunch of random instruments kind of playing at the same time. The only thing that's holding this song back from the number 1 spot is the fact that once I believe the summer is over and the next update comes out, most people won't find it in their playlist any longer. It's not something that 100% fits the Rocket League mold. It's more something that kind of goes well with this update. There are bits and pockets that fit very well with the original soundtrack, but like I said, it's more of a summer set kind of tone than it is a Rocket League soundtrack tone in general. And finally, at number 1, I have About You by Ioban and Vin. Don't worry, that's how you pronounce it. I did my research on his Reddit AMA. This song has a good mix of being a damn good Future House song that also kind of reminds me of the original soundtrack, which is why I have it at number 1. Future House is not typically something that Rocket League tends to have in its soundtrack, but when you can mix new things with old things, that's kind of the whole point of these Monstercat and Rocket League additions to the soundtrack collection. They are going for a new direction in sound that also harkens back to their old stuff, and I think this song is the perfect mix of that. This song also has a lot of bounce to it. It has that kind of summery groove inside of it. The one negative I could see with this song is maybe that the voices, the singing in the song could be a little bit high or shrill, but other than that, the beat's very catchy, and I find myself jamming along and grooving to this song every time it comes on when I play Rocket League. That just about does it for this iteration of my Rocket League and Monstercat album ranking video. If you guys disagree with my rankings, feel free to let me know why in the comments, and post your top 6, what you thought were the best. Once again, these are not my personal opinions. These are what I believe kind of fits the overall tone of the Rocket League soundtrack. I say this every time Rocket League and Monstercat come out with a new album. I love the direction they're headed with the game. It's reaching a whole new audience, both with players and music alike. And I am honestly looking forward to Volume 4. My one main gripe with the last 2 albums is the fact that they're very short. The first Rocket League Monstercat album was 18 songs, I believe. The last 2 have only been 6. So I get the fact that you don't want to oversaturate the soundtrack with too many songs, but you know, like 90-95% of them just fit so well with the game that I want more, and I can't wait for their Volume 4 to come out here, hopefully pretty soon. I would assume when their next big update comes out, probably in the early fall, we'll see at least 6 more new songs. I'm hoping for more. Fingers crossed that we'll get at least 10 or something like that. Yes, I'm usually a bit late on the rankings from when the update comes out, but I like to kind of, you know, let it sit and cool down a little bit. Let me get used to all the songs before I can make an informed decision on them. I don't like jumping to conclusions within day 1, saying like, this song's amazing. Because I did that with the first one, and then there are some songs that the more I listened to them, the more stale they got, or the more repetitive and stuff, and I just didn't quite enjoy them as much anymore. So I don't like to jump to conclusions or rash decisions. That's why I'm a little bit behind the 8 ball on releasing these ranking videos. Hope you guys understand that. But in any case, I'm very excited for Monstercat Rocket League Season 4, Ranking Volume 4, there we go, that's what I was looking for. So, I'll see you guys for the next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I have other Rocket League videos in my video description below. Feel free to give them a view, and I'll see you guys next time.